Friday night, everybody. Chris McDonald with you on a very special McFiles Friday. We are grateful to have everybody with us tonight. We've got some breaking news for you. We're going to be having a news wrap up here. We're not going to be with you a long time, probably an hour, hour and a half. We've got dear buddy James Akers back with us tonight. I know he was just on last night, but we've got developing news that's taken place. Now, I just want to say what we're about to say. There's no indication that anything has actually happened yet, but there is every indication growing tonight that we could be within hours of another U.S. military strike. There's been a 6-week delay. Trump has tried everything he can to get the Iranians to the table. They've backed out of the nuclear talks. Conflicting stories all over the internet and the world press tonight, but just on the side of caution, we wanted you to be aware that war is looming tonight in the Middle East, and it's going to be an interesting next 72 to 96 hours as to what's about to happen. James Akers on the phone with me, buddy. I won't keep you long tonight. You gave us a good hour, hour and a half of your time last night, but I did want to get your take on this and what you felt like was looming. Do you think that this is going to... do you think this is going to come into fruition, or do you think this is just Trump? I understand tonight that some of this that precipitated the activity was the fact that Ivanka Trump was targeted by the IRGC, and you don't target the president's family because it's Donald Trump. This ain't Joe Biden, and I think Trump's a little upset tonight, and I think Iran better be preparing. I think all what's about to break loose.
Well, we'll see. I saw the reports that you sent me about some activity, perhaps using Iraqi airspace, which would make sense according to what we talked about yesterday, that the Saudis are proving to be a real fly in the ointment here by not allowing their airspace or anything else to be used. If that's the case, then the Israelis and the Americans would have to use Iraqi airspace. Of course, the Americans have the carrier forces offshore, but it'll be interesting. We'll see. I know that Trump has changed his usual agenda, and so there are some. By all appearances, there are some strange developments afoot. We'll see.
Do you think that the situation with Ivanka prompted this with him, or do you think that it's strictly just Trump basically ready to close this thing out with Iran?
By all appearances, there are some.
Sorry, go ahead.
That I don't know. I'll just be honest with you. I don't know. I just learned from you the report about Ivanka, so
okay.
All of that's new information to me. I was sort of scouring the media to see if anybody was reporting anything that was out of the ordinary other than those reports that you sent me, and I haven't seen anything. Of course, the mainstream media is just so slow to respond to anything anymore. So,
well, the mainstream media is not going to report anything that's positive for America, and they're not. If Trump is trying to do something tonight, I don't think he'd tell them. I mean, that's one thing I've learned about him. He don't tell the media nothing. I mean, he it's not like he's going to call a press conference tonight in the middle of the night and say, "Hey guys, let me give you the update of what I'm going to do," because it's been his pattern, and just go out and do it, and then tell him what he's done, not what he's going to do tonight. I just think this.
I get that, Chris, but there are a lot of eyes on for unusual movements in the Middle East, and there would be so it would seem there would be somebody that would say something, but it could be that the reports that you sent me are right on target.
Well, I think one of the interesting things, and we've got a video we're going to play for our people here in a minute. The Iranian airspace evidently has been shut down. And that would tend to indicate that they are. I put it like this: whether he does something or not, the Iranians are expecting it, uh, because we've got a video right now that was sent to us by an X account, and there are flights flying all around Iran tonight, but in Iran itself, there's not one single airplane in the air. So something is really up. I mean, again, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm with you on that. But I just, as an opinion on this Friday night, what is your gut as to what may take place? Do you think this is Trump sort of, as he said the other day, giving them a love touch? As he said it, this was a love pat when he bombed them in the Strait of Hormuz, or do you think that we're going to be at war by Memorial Day?
You know, I'm really reluctant to make a call on it. The Saudi reluctance to do anything is a real spoiler for me. So we'll see what happens. As to the Iranians shutting down their airspace, they're certainly nervous about something happening. The Israelis are just experts at using at using the Iranian systems and aircraft and call signs and this, that, and the other to provide cover for their aircraft going in. They're masters at that. And so one way that the Iranians, if they are fidgety, to short circuit that development would be to ground all their aircraft.
I got you.
They're certainly nervous. Whether that indicates actual U.S. air activity or whether it's just sort of gamesmanship that's going on, we'll have to wait and see. But it does make sense that if the Israelis in particular are going to go in with some sort of strike package, that they would go in through an Iraqi corridor these days.
Well, let me. We'll follow this, and again, we've got a special prayer event coming up tonight at midnight, so we're going to be on the air all night, and we'll keep folks posted over there on the face side if we do have anything break. But we'll definitely talk about this more first of the week with you, because I think by Memorial Day we'll know. One thing I read tonight, I read an interesting article. Trump usually does things on the weekend because of the markets. He last, every time I don't know what it is about presidents and the markets. When the president says certain things, the president's words have so much weight sometimes that these markets react. They hate war. They're down today, very down today. And there was a lot of people that believe that he did this tonight. If there is going to be something coming tonight or in the morning, that he always does it on the weekend because he don't want the markets to just, go crazy. And, I think whatever he does, it's going to be both feet. We'll see how that plays out. One quick thing, 5 minutes. I know it's Friday night. I don't want to keep because you did a great job last night. What was your thoughts about Tulsi Gabbard resigning today? The media is trying to paint it that she was forced out. She says it's her husband. He's got some kind of rare cancer, and she feels like she needs to be with him. There had been rumblings about this a few months ago that Trump was unhappy with her, but again, you don't know what to believe with the media, even on the right. I mean, some of this stuff you got to take with a grain of salt, and that's what the hard part is. We don't know what to swallow and what to spit out sometimes. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think she's being forced out, or do you think that this is really for her husband?
Maybe a bit of both. Let me give you my personal take. I really like Tulsi Gabbard. And if she was Tulsi, if she was forced out, I think it's a mistake for Trump. I'll just be real honest with you. She had residents on both sides of the aisle. She comes with a reputation, as far as I can tell, as sort of a fair player, right down the middle. She probably resisted some pressure from Trump or from Trump's minions to move a bit quicker against some of Trump's enemies. And you know that in terms of policy and other things, I'm a big Trump supporter. But to tell you the truth, he makes it very difficult to speak truth to power. And so for those around him, if they're not moving at a pace that pleases him, then there's pressure brought to bear. So I have no doubts her husband does have a legitimate illness, and so that's why I said it may be just a little bit of both. That's my initial take on it.
Okay, and we'll talk about that too first of the week. I think things will become more apparent. Usually, when these things happen, she'll be there through the 30th. This is not like a sudden resignation, and that gives me feel that it was more the husband, because if it was like him, he would probably already have just said, "Hey, pack your stuff," like he did Bondi, because Bondi didn't give a notice. I mean, Bondi resigned and she was gone, and Blanche stepped right in, and I think that was definitely a force out there. So I think that with Tulsi staying a month, maybe it's not Trump. He said some glowing things about her today, and I just didn't read anything by that statement that would indicate he was happy that she was leaving. I think that, as you said, I was not a fan of hers for a while, and I really didn't trust her a lot at the beginning, but I think that overall she's done a very admirable job as DNI head and the Department of National Intelligence. And, there's rumors out there that Devin Nunes, he resigned today of the Trump Media Company, and that he's going to be the one that Trump's going to look to take over that ring. So what's your thoughts on Devin Nunes?
I know less about him than I do about Tulsi Gabbard, to tell you the truth. So I'm not sure that I can give an opinion that actually amounts to anything. But I did like Tulsi Gabbard. I think that's going to be a loss for the administration, both in terms of her capabilities, the relationships that she's formed within the intelligence community, and the way she went about trying to restore the damaged reputation of those 17 or so agencies that come under the DNI umbrella. I thought she did a decent job. I know there's people on both sides, the far left and the far right, probably disagree with me, but I thought she did a really good job.
Yeah. Well, another good thing that I think for her sake, the Democrats are rejoicing she's gone. So that tells me right there that Trump didn't force her out. when the Democrats are glad you're gone, that means that we need to keep you. Okay? Anything the Democrats do is the opposite. If they're rejoicing, we should be sad. If they're sad, we need to be having a happy dance. But listen, enjoy your Friday night. Thank you for being with me for a few minutes and giving me your take on this. And we'll keep posted. Again, there's no actual word of any bombing going on right now, but I tell you, I'm looking at the internet right now on X, and it is lighting up by the second with reports coming out of Iran and Iraq tonight, and also the Middle East. But we'll keep posted, and I may be calling on you again this weekend for a few minutes, so hang loose, and thank you for all your insight whenever we have these times that need you. We appreciate you, man.
Well, I'll tell you, anything's possible these days. I'll be close to the phone, and I'm going to be tracking what's going on, in as far as I'm able to do that. So I'll be glad to get on with you again if the explosions start to happen.
Good deal, buddy. Have a great weekend. Get a good night's rest. I'll see you soon. Very soon.
Okay.
God bless, friend.
You bet.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. James Akers, everybody. That's my dear buddy. I'm going to get Leslie Milwee here on in just a second. And again, there's breaking news for those of you who are just joining us tonight. There are indications, at least. We don't know for sure if this is actually going to happen. But Trump has canceled his plans. His son was getting married tomorrow. I think down in the Bahamas. He's canceled that trip. He was in New Jersey for the weekend. He's canceled that trip. He's returned to D.C. tonight. All the major military intelligence people, they have canceled their Memorial Day weekend. They are somewhere in D.C. with him tonight talking. and just everything that we've just talked about. The airspace over Iran is shut down. There are some reports out of Israel tonight that there were Israeli jets being seen flying east into Iraq tonight, and Iraq over Baghdad. And we're trying to confirm those things. And I want to just say this about the right-wing media, just like I do about the left-wing media. There are times that people in the right-wing media get a little overexcited, and they report things that are not true. So I want to just say that we've got no 100% confirmation that anything will happen this weekend. We don't know. But to err on the side of safety and caution, I just wanted to make sure that you're aware tonight that this is what's up. And Trump, he's always, it seems like Friday nights have always been because it's already in the morning over in Iran right now. They're about 8 hours ahead of us. And it's already about 6 a.m. in the morning there. And you could very well see something overnight, our time here in the East. And but we just need to pray for the situation and so forth. It's so good to see everybody tonight. We're going to be checking in with you. We got some updated news, and we've got some news clips we want to read to you tonight, and some other breaking news as well. We mentioned Tulsi Gabbard. I want to, we'll get your take on Tulsi, and let's see here. I'm going to just ask you, let me do a little poll here tonight. I'm a little nervous about these polls. I thought we'd have some common sense last night, and let's see here. Let's see. Do you think? Let me just write this poll out. Tulsi Gabbard was forced out. Or leaving for hubby. All right, let's do this. Easy question tonight. Do you think Tulsi Gabbard was forced out? And whoops, what are we going to do that? I don't know what we're doing that. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to do a poll, not a Q&A. There we go. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. There's your poll for tonight, and we'll let you vote. That way they'll give you more time to vote than we did last night with it. But I'm going to, let's see, some of you are already saying you believe that she was. There we go. I'm going to say no. Actually, no. All the 100% of you say no. Good to see everybody in the house on a Friday night, and to thank James Akers for him being with us tonight. I do want to run over a few things. Here is the story about Ivanka tonight, and this is the troubling thing that I think is sort of prompting. I personally believe that Trump's not happy about this, but an Iranian-backed terrorist was caught plotting to assassinate Ivanka Trump. A radical Iraq national trained by the ROGC was busted, planning to take out Ivanka at her Florida home, complete with a detailed blueprint of it. And there she is with President Trump. And Gunnerman there, one of the extras, says, if that's true, Iran's going to be gassed tomorrow. And I don't doubt that, very much so. But we'll see how that plays out. Let's see, here's this. That's not it. That's not what I wanted to show you tonight. But there's a lot of people tonight in Congress that are wanting him to finish this job with Iran. Here is the map that I want to show you. I know this was one of the things. This is massive GPS jamming. They're jamming the GPS across Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, and the Persian Gulf tonight. That means there's electronic war preparation, and that's from Kyle Becker. And usually when planes are flying into these areas with war and get ready to do military operations, that's usually what they do ahead of military operations. So everything is screaming at us tonight that we're headed for some rough waters in the Middle East later tonight. And so we definitely need to be praying for for all of that. And actually, Marshall, may God's mercy be on everybody tonight. If you got any questions, I'm going to go ahead and take your questions early tonight, put them in the house, and so forth. We've got other breaking news. This is Roger Wicker, Senator Wicker, and he actually, I think, posted something tonight that's very intriguing. He said, "We're at a moment that will define President Trump's legacy. His instincts have been to finish the job he started in Iran, but he is being ill-advised to pursue a deal that would not be worth the paper it is written on. Our commander-in-chief needs to allow American skilled armed forces to finish the destruction of Iran's conventional military capabilities and reopen the strait. Further pursuit of an agreement with Iran's Islamic regime risks a perception of weakness. We must finish what we started. It is past time for action." And Wicker is not a war hawk. He is pretty moderate to the right Republican. And so that's coming from him. That's very interesting. We do want to go to Gateway Pundit tonight. There's a couple of stories. There's the Tulsi Gabbard story. And I'll give you my take on her in just a second. But this is the story right here. The IRGC targeted Ivanka Trump in an assassination plot. This was reported by the New York Post today. Mohammed Bakr Saad Dawood al-Saadi. Boy, these Muslims don't know the joy of just having a first and a last name, do they? Was arrested May 15th in Turkey and has been extradited to the United States on charges of orchestrating terror attacks on the U.S. and Europe, including a pledge to assassinate Ivanka Trump. Before his arrest, al-Saadi reportedly obtained a blueprint of Ivanka's Florida home and told those close to him he was going to kill the first daughter in response to President Trump's drone strike on former Iranian military general Qasem Soleimani. That was actually in the first term. And there's the New York Post story right there. There's al-Saadi on the left. Of course, that's Ivanka and Jared Kushner there. First daughter Ivanka was targeted, and this guy's 32. He made a pledge to kill her. The Iraqi national was allegedly targeting Donald Trump's family in response to the killing of Soleimani 6 years ago. And there's the story, and there's the map of her house that they found in his belongings. Actually, it was literally posted, it looked that like on X. And the Department of Justice got him right there. This was done by the Telegraph today, and they've got him in custody. So we'll be following that story and seeing. Thank God he didn't succeed, but that is another attempt on the Trump family. I got to say something about that tonight, and I'll come back over here to my screen. We did a poll last night. I'm sure that the same people that think Trump staged his assassination will think this is stage two. You know that they're just making this up. You have people in this country. There was a poll out. We talked about it last night. Late that I think it was 30%, 32% believed that the first all three assassination attempts, the one in Butler, the one in Florida, and the one at the press members' ball, was all staged by Trump deliberately for political gain. And then the thing at the press event was basically to get him brownie points to build that White House ballroom. Well, I guarantee you, if I'd have put this poll out there tonight, do you think Ivanka staged this? There would be individuals that would believe that she did. And that's the state of affairs in this country, or the lack of common sense in this country. I'll just leave it at that. I do not believe that. So anyway, but let me go back to our news wire, because there's some other stories I want to talk about tonight. This day in history, we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'll just give you the headlines as we go out of here tonight on this Friday night. President Trump had a press conference today, and there was some people there that were trying to be ugly to him. And let me get me out of the way so I can operate the screen here. Let me unlock this. When you're doing your own show and basically having to produce too. I'm having to do two things. I'm talking to you and producing at the same time. But there's Tulsi Gabbard. She resigned. Trump's statement. I want to read a statement tonight. He says, "I'm deeply grateful for the trust," this is her letter. "I'm deeply grateful for the trust you placed in me and the opportunity to lead the Office of the Director of National Intelligence for the last year and a half. Unfortunately, I must submit my resignation effective June 30th. My husband, Abraham, has recently been diagnosed with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. He faces major challenges in the coming weeks and months, and at this time I must step away." And she was a former Democrat rep in Hawaii. President Trump had nothing but glowing remarks to say to her today. And he said, "Unfortunately, after having done a great job, Tulsi Gabbard will be leaving the administration June 30th. Her wonderful husband, Abraham, has been recently diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer, and she rightfully wants to be with him, bringing him back to good health as they currently fight a tough battle together. I have no doubt he will soon be better than ever. Tulsi has done an incredible job, and we will miss her." Her highly respected Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, Aaron Lucas, will serve as Acting Director of National Intelligence, President Donald John Trump. And that was in response to her letter. I don't see anything in there that would indicate that he was upset with her. Trump, one thing about Trump, folks, and let's just be frank with everybody, Trump, he's not good at hiding his feelings. If he felt like that Tulsi had not done a good job, I think he would have said something. I mean, he sort of hem-hawed with Bondi, but I think if she was leaving right away, then I would probably think differently. I think it's for the husband, and it may be some of the other two, but that's just my take on it. Jimmy Kimmel's in the news again tonight. We'll talk about that. This slush fund we'll be talking about next week and other things. I just want to show you a couple of interesting things. There's the report that we're talking about tonight that the Trump administration is preparing to strike Iran, and that report there and so forth. But we'll be following that story as much as we can. The other big news today really is this rhino treachery and the absolute betrayal of the country by the Republicans. And I just want to basically say what's happened. It happened in South Carolina. There was an opportunity for the South Carolina Senate to basically remove the district that Jim Clyburn had. It was legal because that district that he's in was drawn simply to benefit black voters. And these 6 Republican traitors in South Carolina voted with the Democrats to block the motion and protect the status quo. Rex Rice, Shane Massey, Sean Bennett, Chip Campson, Tom Davis, and Greg Hombre. And they killed this motion to expedite redistricting. I'm sure they're going to try to do it again. The governor has called for it. And there's the numbers to call them. But very, very disappointing that that's happening. But they're getting their marching orders from the National Republican Party because John Thune sent everybody home yesterday for 12 days at the bequest of him. And I'm bringing this story down here at the bottom. Let me see if I can find that story here. We've got us a new Fed chair. But there he is right there. There's John Thune. And he, it was all over this weaponization fund. They were going to vote to fund ICE, to fund the border, to get all this funding done. Thune storms out. He's upset at Trump tonight because Trump has picked Ken Paxton, who, by the way, you Texans, you got a chance to put Ken Paxton in Washington. He's up by 22 points in the latest polls over John Cornyn right now. And but Thune got his revenge by sending the Republicans home. But not only about this, but he has refused to bring any bill to the floor about the Save American Act. And he basically as good as told a newspaper yesterday that he's doing these things deliberately because he's upset with Trump about Cornyn, and that Wilt Phillips, Tom Tom Tillis, Thune, Cornyn, McConnell, all these Republicans, Lisa Murkowski, Collins. It's almost like it doesn't matter. We got a 55-45 majority in the House or the Senate. It don't even matter at this point because these rhinos are voting with the Dems, and they're as good as telling Trump they're going to vote for him. And I wouldn't doubt if some of them just changed parties and gave the Dems power. There's rumblings tonight. They've made backroom deals with them to do that anyway. And it's going to be a tough run. Trump, unless there's some people in the Senate that can have some gumption and courage to get this John Thune out and basically vote him out and elect a new leader. That's what's going to happen, and it is what it is. This is the Breitbart news site tonight, and really, I'm looking to make sure that there's no reports of any bombing going on. We don't have any of that right now. We'll definitely keep you posted on this. There's one report I do want to mention. This got Israel in trouble with Trump this week. They basically killed the mastermind of October the 7th over the weekend, last weekend. But this report out of Breitbart is interesting that they have formed a secret unit to kill or capture every October the 7th attacker. It's very similar to what they did in Munich when the Palestinians killed those Israeli athletes in Munich, Germany, way back in 1972. And the Israeli government had a special task force unknown to the media, unknown to the world, that hunted down every Palestinian terrorist they could find that was responsible for Munich and kill them. And Steven Spielberg made a movie about it and basically painted Israel in a bad light, like he always does. But Israel had a right to defend herself, folks, and she has a right to defend herself on this, and we'll talk to you about that. But that's what we've got in the news tonight. I had more video than this, but with the breaking news, and we've got this prayer event coming up, we're going to save a lot of this for next week. And but I just wanted you to be aware of the situation going on in the Middle East tonight, because it's going to be an interesting weekend, and we will see just how these things play out. I want to see if we've got any video here. Let me see here. I thought we had it, but maybe we didn't. This is our dear friend Tony Branco, and he posted this cartoon today about John Thune, and this is about the truth of it right there. Thune death. Thune death, voter ID, proof of citizenship, Save the American Act. 80% of the voters approve of it, including the Dems. But he's getting GOP establishment money, special interest money, and he loves Mitch McConnell, who hates Trump. And Thune has become a very bad thorn in the side of the president. Anti-Trump donors are flooding Cornyn with cash after Trump endorses Paxton. I want to hear from you Texan folks to see how y'all think about this, what you think about this. This man's in trouble. Paxton's up by 22 points. And there's been a lot of people that have donated to Cornyn. Cassidy's out. He's turned on Trump. He's vowed to fight Trump tooth and toenail and to vote against him on everything. So it's going to be a tough road. These establishment people are not going to leave Washington easily. But it's got to be done. And I just feel like the Lord's going to help Trump get this agenda passed and get it through, even if he has to remove some Republicans from doing it. So that's just my take on it. All right. Now, I'm going to come back over here to you. We will get some of these things talked about. Let me... Zella, your question about the recess appointments, no, he cannot. One of the things that Thune did in sending the senators home for 12 days, they won't be back to June the 1st. He left one Republican, I don't know who it is, with the gavel, with the express purpose that if Trump seeks to do that, then he's got the power to stop it. And I don't know quite sure how all that works, but he's made it. He's impeded that effort? That's a good question about the recess appointments, because I think Trump was thinking about this. I just got a feeling Trump's got Iran on his mind tonight. I think Trump will deal with Thune in due time. He blasted Tillis today, but I think that this weekend is about Iran. And I think once he gets this taken care of, these Rhino Republicans, they don't understand the wrath that's about to come down from the White House, because the White House can make things very hard for them. They think they can make it hard for the White House, and they can. They can obstruct and impede and do the things they're doing. John Thune tonight, and I talked to Amy Miller about this, and we're going to get Amy on the show next week. Thune has always been like this. He was like this in Trump's first term, even when he wasn't Senate president, and he's worse as being the leader of the Senate, the majority leader tonight, and it's sad. I remember Thune back in the 90s and the 2000s under Bush. He was very conservative. At least I thought he was. And it's actually been quite shocking. And it's sad to me that President Trump, I'll just say it like this. What could President Trump, where could we be tonight? Think about this, of the things that he wants to do. If he'd have just had a little bit of cooperation from his own party, a majority, he's already fighting these Dems, but his own party is fighting him. And it just seems that if he had any kind of cooperation at all from his own people, that's what they are elected to do, is to support the president and support America agenda, the American agenda. And you got Alex Jones out there tonight and Marjorie Taylor Greene claiming that Trump's going to cancel the 2028 election. I mean, that's just talking, that's conspiracy stuff. But with friends like John Thune and John Cornyn, Mitch McConnell, Bill Cassidy, with friends like Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson was cutting back deal rooms last night with Dems. And you don't need any enemies. Trump don't need to have to worry about the left. Trump needs to be more worried about the right now. And these people are going to pay a price for this. I'm telling you, it is. This country we could already have so much. We could have accomplished so much. Obamacare could be gone right now had it not been for Republicans. It wasn't the Democrats that voted Obama down. The Obamacare stuff. It was John McCain who cast the vote to keep Obamacare in place. Now, the Republicans gutted the mandate to where you had to have it or you get fined. But I don't doubt the Democrats, if they get back in power, are going to reinstate all of those things. They're going to try to, at least. They're going to nuke this filibuster. Thune ain't going to do that. He only needs 5 senators to call for a vote to replace him. And my question is, where are those 5 senators at tonight? That's what I'm screaming about. Where's Kennedy? Where is Jordan? Where's Rick Scott? Where's Byron Donalds? Where's all these senators that are out there? I know tonight that Josh Hawley. I know there's at least 5 or 6 that could stand up right now and say we want a new leader, but they're not doing it. It's a good question. Trump couldn't adjourn the man. No, he can't. Not under the Constitution, Stephen. He sure can't, sadly. Yolanda says that's why we should get rid of all the rhinos one by one. I voted for Paxton already and told my family members to go vote and spread the word to be sure to go vote. That's very good, Yolanda. Yolanda, we're trying to get rid of them one by one, but it's very hard. I remember, and I can't think of the guy's name. He was a good guy. He was up here in Tennessee. And I happened to actually like Dr. Phil Rowe. I did. Phil Rowe had been in the Senate for a very, very long time. He was in the House, and he was a representative, but he was getting older. And I can't think of the guy's name to save my life tonight. But I met him after we first started doing this show, and he ran against Dr. Rowe. And he was a little bit more conservative than Rowe was, even though I liked Phil because Phil was on my show. He came on the show every time I called him. He'd call me up and give me 10, 15 minutes, tell me what was going on in D.C. And I even got a picture with him that I cherish to this day. He invited me to his office and took me around the Capitol and very good man. And it wasn't that I didn't like Dr. Rowe, but the election that was held in Tennessee, which we're a red state, Rowe beat this guy 96-4. 96-4. And I thought the guy that was running against him was actually very conservative and had some great ideas. And he was pro-Trump, and he was saying, look, I'm here, I'm going to support the president 100%. And you can't, it's hard to unseat these incumbents. It's just hard. That's why Massey's defeat was so glorious Tuesday night up in Kentucky, because he was a 7-term incumbent. And all the money and all the power was behind him. Ed Guerin didn't have that much money. He had some, but Massey had the sources. He had the resources, almost 2-1. It didn't matter. I think it's going to take some prayer. It's definitely going to take people voting and people getting fed up. And Carol, your point is well taken tonight. I think that a lot of people are sick of that very thing. She says, I'm tired of these politicians representing themselves instead of the people. That's what they've always done. They've always done. And anyway, Stewart's out in Dallas. You Texans, tell me, what do you think? Paxton or Cornyn? Put that in the House. Yolanda's already voted for Paxton. And are there any Cornyn people out there? If you're a Cornyn supporter, let me know. And we'll take your comments. We're going to go another 10 minutes here or so. And then we're going to wrap this thing up tonight, because we got a wild Friday night coming. We've got a Friday night coming of a prayer event at midnight here, and we're going to be getting ready for that. Pat, and most of you believe that Tulsi was not forced out, and I tend to believe that too. Vera don't believe it, and I think that people are praying. Good to see Cleo in the house over there on Facebook tonight. I know she's over here on YouTube. She says, when bone cancer is rare, it is usually aggressive. I hope people are praying for him and Tulsi, and I sure am. And as I said, folks, I'll just say this, my personal opinion about Tulsi. I had a lot of distrust for her, and this is just how things go sometimes. When Trump put Bondi and Gabbard in office, if you'd have asked me a year and a half ago, which one do you expect to be gone quicker, I'd have said Tulsi Gabbard. That was my original feeling about her. Our dear buddy James R. lived in Hawaii while she was the rep out there. James had nothing good to say about her. And for those of you that know my dear buddy James R., he had a few choice words about the way she handled her business out there. And then when she left the House and started moderating to the right, and Trump brought her into the office, I asked him, I sent him a text. I said, what's your thoughts? And he said, I don't trust her no more now than I did then, but we'll see. And I think all of us was like that. I put a lot more faith in Bondi than I did her. And I have to say, a year and a half later, that looking back on it, my trust was misplaced. I think that Gabbard has basically served the president very faithfully, very loyally. And I'm not saying Bondi hasn't, but Bondi didn't do much. Gabbard has got some bombshell stuff. I read a report tonight out of a news article in one of the independent magazines or news sites that Gabbard has got a lot of details that she is about to blow up on the public before June 30th, including the COVID cover-up, including the 2020 election cover-up, including the Russiagate hoax. There's still a lot of revelation that's not come out yet. There have been reports that there's indictments, very much so, coming soon. And I think that there is going to be a lot of exposure, revelation, and we'll see if any of it goes anywhere. But Bondi didn't do squat in a year and a half. Nothing at all. Blanche has done more in a month than she did in a year and a half. So my trust was misplaced. And I think that when all is said and done, Gabbard's going to be seen to me as being a more faithful cabinet member than Bondi ever was. Now, that's just my take. And I do believe that it's about her husband. I do not believe Trump forced her out. Trump is just Trump. We talked about that this morning a little bit. He's got an ego, and James was right on tonight. He is a results-oriented president. He wants things done right away. He does get impatient sometimes. That's the businessman in him. That's how he runs his businesses, folks. That's why he's a billionaire. People with these habits and that kind of when I have never met a CEO of a company yet that's not just exactly like Trump. The CEOs sometimes are impatient. They're detail oriented. They want things done yesterday. They want results. If they don't get results quick, they're quick to cut people loose, put somebody else in there. It's just business. It's business to Trump. He's running the country as a business. I know we out here in the public, sometimes we don't see it that way. We think, well, that's just inhumane or that's mean-spirited and he's being ugly and Trump can't handle criticism, and maybe he can't. I don't know many CEOs that do handle criticism good. Trump's Trump, and we've come to understand that. And he handles people a little differently than most presidents have in the past. But this is why he's so successful. If it was a push out, I believe she would have resigned tonight and then immediately gone. And she's going to be with us through June 30th. And I do pray for her and her husband. I saw some pictures of them. I did not know about, I was not aware of the cancer until today, honestly. And I guess that's how oblivious I've been to things. But I do pray for Tulsi Gabbard and her husband tonight. And I appreciate the work that she's done for our nation and served our nation. And I wish her well. I do. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think most of you understand that. Pat says, I never... let's see, Megan, what is Megan saying here? She's saying Tulsi had the unforgettable moment at the press conference where she laid out the Russia collusion, and I'm not too thrilled that there are no arrests. Megan, I'm going to speak to that. The reason there are not no arrests, the cases are being built. And I'll just say this, Megan, I've said this before on our show throughout the years. We tend out here in the public, we are so hungry and thirsty to see people perp walked. We want to see that, every one of us. But if you just throw something on the wall for the sake of appeasing our thirst for an arrest, and they go into a courtroom and they walk right back out the back door 5 minutes later because we didn't put a case together right, that ain't accomplishing nothing. I think the reason there's not been arrests is that they're building these cases, and these cases take months and sadly, yes, sometimes years to make sure they're ironclad. We don't have indictments yet. I think people mistakenly believe that Comey is just indicted for that seashell photo, and that's not why they're indicting him. I don't think Todd Blanche brings him into a federal court with just that to try to put him in jail. There's other things that Comey's guilty of that we're probably not been made aware of yet. And I think when they lay the case out against him, when they lay the case out against John Bolton, and they lay the case out of others that have been indicted, there's reasons why they bring indictments. They're not going to bring them if they don't have cases. So I would be disappointed. I would be patient. And I know we've told people to be patient before, and some people have been and some people are not. I understand your sentiment. I do. I think there's a lot of people that probably feel the same way you do. We've been waiting for justice for nearly 6 years now, 7 years. And, as long as we get it before Trump leaves, I'm willing to wait a little bit more, because when Trump leaves, we've got 2.5 years to get this right. We got 2.5 years to get everything done. We may not have that if we lose this House and Senate in the fall. But that's why we need to pray so hard tonight, folks. We do. We need to pray very hard for President Trump and our country. All righty. Appreciate the comment, friend. I wouldn't be too upset about it. I think that she's going at the pace that she needs to. I do believe that there are things coming. and coming soon. And I would not doubt it now that she's leaving, that they'll probably happen before June 30th. And we'll see. Now, I will be the first to tell you, if I'm wrong about this, McDonald's man enough, I'll come back on here and say, Megan was right. We should have had these arrests a long time ago. And, but we'll be patient. Let's be patient with it for right now. Pat and Debbie Dolan, good to see y'all tonight. I have never thought he would have given Iran this much time. Deb and Pat, that's a good sentiment, and a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way tonight, that they don't understand the 6-week moratorium. We have these people on the ropes. My opinion about that is very simply that I think the humanitarian cost of doing that came up to Trump, and I think that he sort of took into consideration the Iranian people, because to destroy their infrastructure and to obliterate that leadership, there's nobody in place right now to take that gap and take that vacuum. And he's really trying hard not to kill a lot of people. He don't want to kill people. He don't want to bomb cities that's got women, children, and innocent people in them. And he was doing the right thing, and he's one of those D if you do, D if you don't. Because if he would have done more bombing and more attacking, the media and people on the right, people on the left, Christians, would have been criticizing him, and he's nothing but a bloodthirsty tyrant, a bloodthirsty king who just loves killing people, and Israel's behind this, and Israel's telling us to do this, and all this stuff. He shows mercy. He's tried to get Iran's attention at times with a few strikes here and there. He's done everything he can, blockade the Gulf. James is right. Our Arab friends are not helping us at all like they did at the beginning. They've sort of turncoat on us. So he's in a tough place. And I would say your point is well taken. That is why I believe he's waited. Only Trump knows the reason why. I think it was humanitarian. I do. I don't think it was strategic as much as it was humanitarian. We've got the military power to blow these people into the Mediterranean. We do. And we've got enough firepower, we can pretty much rewrite the map and make a new country where Iran's at tonight. And I think they're about to find that out. I do. And, folks, nobody likes war. Nobody enjoys seeing people die. Nobody. I don't. But it's time that this regime go. This is 47 years of terror. And when people say that he promised not to get us into a war, he didn't get us into this war. He's stopping a war. He's finishing a war that was started on us 47 years ago. And so we'll see. But that's my take on that one. That's my take. Good to see Deborah Linger in the house. Vera's in the house. Our Dalton crew's up there tonight. Good to see everybody. John Mertz, good to see you. All you folks out there, good to see everybody tonight. Any other statements? And I'm going to wrap it up here. Sheila, Susan says, Tulsi's speech to the people on May 17th during the nation celebration of rededication to God was amazing. A true, honest, and strong born-again Christian woman came forth. I was amazed at her faith. I was too, Susan. Zella, you says she lost a dear friend to an aggressive bone cancer. It's horrid. His family had no history of cancer, like it came out of nowhere, and I think that's what's happened here. And the Senate parliamentarian was appointed by Harry Reid, and she is behind the obstruction by Thune and McConnell, from what I hear. Zella, I've heard that too. I've actually heard that too, and I think that's who he left behind to obstruct. Absolutely. Carol Smith says, do you think Iranian leadership will never surrender because they believe they will win? Carol, that's some of it, but a lot of this, it goes back to the apocalyptic thing too. These people, they've got a suicide pact. They don't care. I mean, this is unlike any enemy we've ever faced. It was sort of like the Japanese kamikaze pilots of the Second World War there at the end, when they would get in their planes with a death wish. I mean, they were going to blow themselves up. It's sort of like the Palestinian suicide bombers back in 2000 and 2001 and 2. You can't. That's a hard enemy to fight. Somebody's willing to die, and they'll if they feel like if they could fly, like look at the 9/11 attackers. They flew those planes in the building knowing their lives were going to end, but they took out thousands with them. When you're fighting that kind of enemy, I mean, that's a most lethal enemy. And that's the Iranian mindset. That's the mindset of these mullahs. They could just soon blow up if they torch their oil fields and turn the water off. And Pastor Hendricks told me that he had sources tell him from Israel that this blockade of the Strait of Hormuz was actually blocking their water. They've run out of water. Some parts of Iran are not able to have water tonight, and I think that it's to them this ain't even about war. They feel like if they're winning in their mind, their winning is dying. And what can you do with an enemy like that? That's tough. Because what do? You say, we're going to go kill them. Well, that's what they want you to do. Because they believe, every one of them, they've got this Islamic jihadi mentality that they're all going to inherit 72 virgins. They're going to inherit 72 virgins if they die. Anyway, Marshall, good to see you tonight. So far, our poll is 81-20 that 81 of you do not believe. 80% of you believe that Gabbard was not forced out. 20% of you do. And anyway, good to see everybody tonight. All righty, any more questions? Any more questions? Teresa in Texas voted for Paxton today. Teresa, good to see you tonight. Any more questions? Any more comments? And then we're going to call it quits because we got a long night ahead of us. I want to just announce this tonight, folks. Again, we're on our news network tonight, the News and Faith Network. This is the network we do our news shows and so forth. But if you will join us in about an hour and a half around midnight tonight on the McFiles, it's called the Spirit and Wordfire Network. And I wish you would subscribe to that. And subscribe to this network if you've not subscribed to it. And like and share this video with everybody. It helps us. It helps the logistics. We are fighting for survival on the YouTube channels and all these whippersnapper podcasters. We trying to keep our voice out there too, and it helps when you share and like our video. We're grateful for everybody that comes in every night and watches us on replay. But tonight at midnight, we're going to have a very special prayer event. And with everything going on tonight, it's probably good that we're going to do it tonight. We're probably going to be doing it for a good reason. And we're planning on being up with you all night. It's going to be 6 hours of prayer, intercession, praise, worship, songs, encouragement, thoughts. And we're going to let you pray for the country and so forth. And these that we'll read. And there it is right there. The Watch of the Lord is what we call it. This will be the third one that we've done and had. And I think this one's going to be a powerful one tonight. Praise, prayer, songs, psalms, apostolic prayers, worship, and fellowship. So get your Cokes, get your coffee, get your toothpicks, keep your eyes open. Keep your computers on up loud. So if you do fall asleep, just lay your hand on the computer, turn the volume up so you can hear it. Now, in the event that your host falls asleep, I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm going to try my best not to. No, I'm ready to go. I'm a little tired tonight, but I'm fired up. I'm excited about this, and but I do want you to come and be with us tonight, folks. Very seriously, I'm being a little funny, but in a serious note, this is going to be a powerful time of prayer over the country tonight. President Trump, we're going to pray for you, pray for the sick folks out here. We're going to pray for the lost family members. We're going to pray for Israel tonight. We're going to pray for the church. We're going to pray for families. And each hour will have a theme to it that we'll be praying for people. And we'll be praying a lot of music and a lot of apostolic prayers. And then later Saturday night, tomorrow night, for all you Southern Gospel fans that like the Southern Gospel, that kind of music, and those are the quartets and the duets and the trios and the gospel songs. We're going to have a gospel sing. We hadn't had one of those in a long time. And that'll be not at midnight tomorrow night. That'll be around 9:30. And so Saturday night. And so we can get our West Coast folks involved in it. But we are excited about a weekend of faith. And then Sunday is Pentecost Sunday. Sunday morning, Sunday night, faith services. And then Monday is Memorial Day. We'll have a Memorial Day special. It's about an hour long in the afternoon to welcome and honor our fallen veterans. And then we'll have a show Monday night, Lord willing. And then I've got to say goodbye to my son Tuesday. I'm going to be sad. He's leaving for the Air Force on Tuesday. And be praying for my son Caleb. And I'm really proud of him. But he's going to take a big, big step of his next phase of life on Tuesday. And please pray for him. All righty. Let me see if there's anything else. And looks like we don't. So I'm going to say goodnight to you. Thank you all for being with us tonight. Put some fire in that house. I'll see you on the Bayside here in about an hour and a half. And good to see Cleo in the house tonight, our dear friend down under. And bless your buddy. And always a deep, deep pleasure to see her there. And good insight tonight. Thank you all for being with us. Thank you for your insight. And I will see you back here over the weekend on the faith side and back here on the news side Monday night late. I'm not sure we're going to have yet, but we'll be talking Memorial Day. I know that. And these veterans, if you're a veteran out there and you're a family member, you're a family person that has lost a loved one in any kind of military conflict in our country, we want to salute you tonight and tell you that we love you and we're grateful for your sacrifice as a family. And we want to thank all of those that have paid the ultimate cost for our freedom of this nation. And may the Lord bless this great nation of America and bless you tonight and bless your families. And our prayers for President Trump tonight and wisdom in handling this situation in Iraq. God knows we need it. And we'll see you back here in about an hour and a half. Good night.